Backs with it a little bit.
Yeah. All right, we're going live on YouTube. Ready?
Let's go.
All right. Welcome, audience, YouTube. Christy, we see you. We see that you're here. Thank you. So excited. She put a comment. She said, "It's 9 p.m. Eastern. Let's go." Then she goes, "Oh, that was meant to be excited, not pushy."
She's pretty pushy.
I took it as pushy, so.
Yeah, definitely. All right, stop the music. Actually, it kind of brings that party atmosphere up a little bit, right?
It does.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, Andy, you're in East Coast time, so
Yeah,
it's 9 p.m. your time.
it's 9 p.m. You know, this is my third night in a row doing a live stream at 9 p.m.
Oh, snap.
If anybody wants me to join one tomorrow at 9 p.m., I got to
Right.
keep the streak going. So,
Trey's on watching. He says, "Bunch of losers."
yeah.
Trey, how did the kitchen job go today? Trey couldn't be here. He was gonna join us tonight, but he was out spraying his kitchen, I think.
Competition.
I'm convinced that his Alexis just does it all, and he just takes video. That's what I'm convinced of.
Yeah, for sure.
Sleeperhound Design, hello, thanks for joining us. So let's see. Yes, he's salty. Chris, are you guys seeing the chat by chance?
Um,
Maybe not.
no.
I'd have to go on YouTube to check it out.
That's all right. You know, I'll give that commentary. Christy wants to know if Trey is salty for not letting us on tonight. And he's still working. But so tonight we're going to be talking about pricing your work. And I was thinking about this topic, actually we talked a little bit about it last week, or last episode, and we were talking about it. Trey couldn't be here, and I was like, I know just the guy. I'm going to bring in Andy, because you do some talking on the YouTubes about
Just a little
pricing stuff, and
Yeah.
you just hit 100K on YouTube.
I
So,
did.
So
Congrats.
that's awesome.
Thank you.
So we're here to celebrate you. I've got water tonight.
Awesome.
I've learned that if I drink anything other than water, that back half of the episode doesn't go so well.
Longer edits.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I get it.
Yeah. The non-water stuff I use during the edit, so you never know how it's going to come out.
That's right. Matt, are you in your garage?
No, this is actually my home office
Nice.
that I'm converting to something that my wife doesn't like.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, for anybody that's listening, I've been to Matt's house before.
Yeah.
And I thought you were in the back corner of your garage, like where
Right.
you have like the tool wall and stuff. And
Oh, yeah.
I just remember standing in your garage. I don't know how hot it was that day.
It was like 140, I think.
It was so hot.
In the garage, outside it was like 120.
We were just like
Drenched.
dripping sweat.
Yeah. It was like, oh, this is gonna be a great video.
It was brutal.
Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah,
Andy
that was
did
a
the
good time.
circuit. He kind of went from his hometown and moved his way all the way down to Houston, and then
Yep.
back up.
Yeah, I did a
bunch
big
of
loop.
different people.
5 days. Kentucky to stopped in Arkansas on that trip, and met up with Matt with 731 Woodworks.
Yep.
Then came down to Houston.
He's a
and-
cool dude.
Yeah, came down to Houston and visited several people in Houston. I remember, like, when I got to your place, I was so drained.
Yeah.
Like, I had been on the road for 4 days straight, and like I had a collaboration set up every day.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember driving from your house to the hotel. Like, that was one of the most dangerous drives that I've ever done, I think.
Well, it was because the barbecue. You were
Yeah, it was
full
the
on barbecue.
It was barbecue and bourbon.
Barbecue and bourbon.
140 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah,
At least.
you met Dean Duplantis,
Yeah,
Bao.
Bow. And
Saw
then
Bao.
I stopped with Jenny and Davis.
Oh yeah.
Talked
Yeah.
to them.
They're just out. Like where are they again?
Houston.
Okay. Houston, you could drive from one side of Houston to the other side of Houston and see the sunrise and the sunset.
You could.
I like that.
Yeah.
It was a lot bigger than I imagined.
It's incredible how big it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Nick is technically in Houston.
Oh, you are, Nick. Sorry.
Well,
I skipped
I'm about an hour and a half north.
See, told
But
you.
yeah, yeah,
you. So
it's
this isn't going to make you feel any better, Nick, but once I left Matt's house, I went to Fort Worth. And so I probably drove by your house.
yeah. You still would have had to come like an hour in because we're like an hour off 45. We're like in a pothole in the middle of Texas.
I drove up through.
There's a lot of those out here.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Where's Texas? What's the name of the town that Texas A&M is in? The college?
That's where I am.
Yeah, I drove through
College Station. Did you really?
I drove through College
Yeah.
Station. Yeah.
Then you did drive right past
Did
my
you
house.
did you just call A&M the pothole of Texas?
I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, hopefully there are no Aggie fans
Right.
in here.
Yeah.
But don't worry. That was, believe that or not, it'll be 2 years in June. I did that, Matt.
Oh man.
Oh
That's
man,
crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah. 2 years ago. So
Go.
Yeah, echo. Hey, we're going to talk about pricing tonight. So for those of you watching on the pre-show here, if you got any questions or maybe some stories or something that you'd like to share, maybe we can mention in the episode, would appreciate that. Basically, we want to kind of set the stage for new makers who might not be pricing their projects out or not know how to price their projects. We're going to be playing a game tonight. We're going to be playing The Price is Wrong. And sorry, I had to.
Gotta love some Bob Barker.
Yeah. Are you new school or old school Price is Right? Do you like the new Price is Right?
It took me a while to get used to what's his name?
Drew.
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey.
Drew
Yeah,
Carey.
But I like him now. But yeah, it took me a hot minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, nobody can replace Bob. That's a tough spot to fill.
For sure.
It'd be
For
kind of
sure.
like taking over for the Maker Lounge podcast. Anybody, any takers?
No one could do that.
Big shoes to fill.
Not even Trey.
Right. Poor Bob. Yeah. But
So,
yeah, we're going
Drew-
to talk about pricing projects. Andy, you've got a bunch of stuff on your channel about mostly like CNC related type of stuff, laser content. Steve, you don't do as much as far as like the, I mean, you do a bunch of commission work and things like that. But it's more on the smaller scale. So I think that'll be good to have kind of the difference between like you and then Nick. You are, we talked about in the last episode, you've gone from Dylan Furniture to Dylan Custom Carpentry, Incorporated, whatever. And so now you've got like, you're doing a lot of bigger projects. So I think we can kind of,
Yeah.
capture this subject pretty good.
Sleeper Hound Design commented in the chat. He said, "This is great. I need help quoting my work. I started taking some small trim carpentry jobs, and I actually just quoted a crown job, which we could talk about in the podcast, which would directly relate.
Perfect.
So I think we could cover quite a gambit of different styles of pricing as well as different styles of work.
Yeah, I think it'd be good. I'm trying to figure out how I can copy and paste this.
Trey asks, do you adjust pricing for friends and family, or is this relatively set? I am going to be in the minority in that answer, but I figure we'll leave that for the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. They should pay the most.
Right?
Definitely. You might not be in the minority. I think we might all agree on that one.
I might surprise you.
Oh, all right.
Intriguing.
Exactly. All right. Let me figure out how to. I use Google Docs. You guys use Google Docs?
A lot.
Yeah.
Some.
And
Oh, that would be another thing. I don't know if we want to dive into, but what do you use to issue your quotes?
okay, you guys got to tell me who's asking these things. Trey said,
That was me.
That was Nick.
what was Trey's?
Trey said, "Do you adjust your price for friends or family, or is it relatively set?" He also says, "Do you price off material, machine time, labor time, or what you feel the project is worth?" So, in other words, do you go strictly off what the cost is plus your time, or do you price based off the value of the project?
Nice. You want to wet the whistle a little bit? And we'll talk about it in the episode, but maybe kind of give a little teaser.
I strictly go off of material and time. That's how I do things.
Yeah. Andy,
But
what about
that-
you? What's your take on it?
Well,
Just
lot
wet
of
the
different-
whistle.
yeah, a lot of different scenarios, right? Like, I think not that I come across a lot of scenarios myself, but I think all of us are. It depends what you're doing. There's so many different approaches to pricing, and it is a hot topic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and people will fight you. It's like they'll fight you in the street over how you price your work. It's like easy now. Like,
I got a threat one time.
did you really?
Really?
I did.
Tell me.
Yep. And it was actually from, at the time, he was a friend.
Ooh.
I thought you were going to say a church member.
Right. Yeah.
Like your brother.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, at the time he was a friend, but yeah. So I probably won't go too deep into that story because
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's known. So, but anyway, yeah, people get very, very hot on that, especially if they're making their livelihood out of it, right?
Yep.
Like some
Yep.
people are making their livelihood out of it, and new makers come in and they're pricing pretty low.
Yeah.
So I think that
Usually.
that portion of our topic is going to get spicy.
Ooh,
We'll talk about
spicy
that.
content.
Mm-hmm. Is my
After dark.
video dark? Is it dark? Am I dark?
No, everybody's good on my end.
Okay. Cool.
This is a good one from Trey again.
We're gonna have to make up a fake name so we can say somebody else.
This is
Johnny from
Alexis.
Johnny.
Yeah, this is.
Alexis asks,
Yeah.
have you?
Yeah.
How do I get my husband to do more around the house?
Can somebody send the pre-show to Alexis?
She's watching in her bed.
So he said, have you ever lowered your price just to sell the project?
Depends
Do you
how
feel
hungry you are.
guilty? Do you feel guilty about some of the pricing? I think that's a pretty good question to ask. Like,
Yeah.
there's definitely been jobs that I go through and I price, and I'm like, ooh, that seems really expensive. But it's interesting the responses I get back from the customers. It's like the ones you expect to get are the opposite of what you actually get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it, still wetting the whistle, right? Value is perceived, and everybody perceives value differently, right?
True.
Yep.
So, I would probably never buy a Range Rover. I don't know. I just don't see the value in it. But there's people out there that do, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I'm
Cool.
going to go get a Range Rover now.
Right. I'm gonna tag you in my story. Range Rovers for life.
Nice wood hauler Range Rover.
Ooh, Chrissy says, my biggest lesson: I am my ideal client. I think
I am not my
I am
ideal
not
client.
my ideal client. Sorry. There's a little heart over the thing.
end.
Yeah. I keep having to pull the chat up to
Yeah.
see it because the heart's in the way.
Yeah.
We're all doing that. Yeah.
It wants me to heart. I'm just gonna do it just for the hell of it. There we go.
Well, does it go away?
No.
No, it
I mean,
adds
you
more options.
You should definitely try that. You should definitely try that. Everybody try hitting the heart really quick.
Yeah. How many times let's have a competition?
Yeah, there you go. I think we should do the celebratory for Andy's 100,000
Hey,
Oh, hey.
subscribers.
hit it 100,000 times.
Everybody put in the chat. Congrats, Andy, on 100K on YouTube. I'll lead out.
I'm gonna go and put it myself.
And then heart it.
Yeah.
Hard.
I'm putting the laughing face. This is great. Oh man. Well, we got a lot of good questions. Last chance, last call for questions. We'll cut it off here in a couple minutes. Thank you guys for putting those comments. Want to let you know the episode will be out Friday. But if you want to become a Patreon member, you will get the episode early, and you'll get access to after show content. Assuming we're gonna get enough after show fodder.
I'm confused.
How
We've
many-
only been on here for 15 minutes. Don't we have like another 30 before we start?
Right. That was last time. that was only because I forgot to hit start 15 minutes into it. We were talking
Good dry run.
last time we were talking for like 45 minutes in the pre-show. For the first 15 minutes, nobody heard any of it.
It was valuable information too.
Yeah. It was all the good stuff. That's why we're going to cut this off at a reasonable amount of time. Unless anybody else has any other questions, though. I mean, we can continue with the pre-show stuff. I don't want to cut off everybody's fun. I mean, Oak Hill, Christy, she stuck around for 15 minutes pre-show.
Pre-show.
Yes.
Number one fan.
She's punctual.
Pushing to get it started on time.
Subscription-based
Oh.
pricing when you guys record, please.
Prescription based.
Subscription.
Are we talking like Instagram prescription subscription type stuff? What are we talking?
So I tried for a little bit doing, everybody's got their wood wax or whatever you want to call it. I tried doing a subscription for that. And it was good for a little bit. I had a couple people on the subscription, and every 3 months I would send them a new one or whatever. But pricing that I hadn't really thought about. I mean, I did offer a little bit of an incentive because they're paying every month for it. Mm-hmm. Yes, Andy will speak on it.
I do have one. I do have one subscription model. I do.
Yes, he does.
I do.
right.
Hey, recurring revenue is a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Predictable recurring revenue is a really good thing. So
Yeah.
Take some of the other highs and lows out of the game, right?
yep. Yeah, and
Nice.
you can forecast. Like forecast is just a big word, but you can look ahead, right? And rather than like, oh, how many sales am I going to make this month, and you don't know. Yeah, you're going to have some churn in any subscription model, but you can kind of like you can project, and after a while, you'll know your churn rate as well, like a percentage. I'm going to lose 5% this month, but it helps you to plan. And if you like, okay, I'm going to have this month.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I just thought forecast meant be wrong all the time.
I mean,
No, that's the weather. The weather.
that's part of it.
Let's see, Victor, Whim Design. Question: what do you use for design software? Where do you get inspiration for your designs? So we can actually talk a little bit about that right now, because that won't be so much of the main topic stuff. I'm going to write it down in case we want to jump into the after show with that. Since Victor, you are a Patreon member, thank you for that. So I'm going to copy and paste that. Anybody have any thoughts on that? What do you use for design software?
It depends on what I'm doing. I suck at SketchUp.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, it's bad. So I have like a really basic drawing app that I put on my iPad, and it's very crude and basic. But if I'm
Corel?
just drawing up
You
the name of the app,
yeah.
I think it's called like Sketchbook or something like that. But it's super basic, and I can at least show like some diagrams and stuff. But if you can spend the time on SketchUp, it's incredible what you can do with it.
Yeah, I use I used to use SketchUp quite a bit. And then I switched over to Fusion. I've started using Fusion more because of 3D
I've heard of that one
printing.
too.
But it's pricey. I pay for the yearly subscription. I think it's like
Yeah.
500 and something bucks for the year, which I
Yeah.
mean, it's a business write-off, right? Which is good.
Yeah.
And I usually do the subscription in December. So,
And I think they're changing that pricing model too. And
Oh.
so if you've got it right now, I think you're locked into the a lower price through like 2027. But I think it's going up to like $700 or $800 a year.
Holy
Wow.
cow.
I think
Now-
so. I think,
There is a free
but
version,
I've got
right?
it too.
there is a free version.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you want to export certain file types, you can't do it in the free version.
Gotcha.
Now you can export it as I think like an STL or something. There's one format you can export it into, and then you can go into a converter type thing. But
But they
This is
basically
better.
lock down. They just lock down what you. So you probably can design all those files in Fusion, but they don't let you take them outside of Fusion, right?
yeah,
Is
you
that what
can
they're
you
doing?
can get like basic.
Whim Design says it's $349 until January 30th, and then it goes up in price.
I overpaid. Man,
You got like the
Man,
enterprise
349's a
version.
Oh,
deal.
that is a deal.
Yeah, yeah.
I think.
Um,
Yeah, and my wife's a teacher, so some stuff I get on the teacher thing, but I couldn't get that. I couldn't get that particular one. With the
Was
teacher.
500 your teacher discount
Yeah,
from 349?
they charge you more. They pay you less and charge you more.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got it too, Matt. And one of the limitations with the free version is that you can't create sheet sets where you have like 5 different sheets, and
Oh, yeah.
you update your model, and all those sheets will update, and then you can print a PDF.
Right.
I think you can do individual PDFs, but it just gets clunky and a little harder to put things together in that.
I haven't used it
situation.
for any of the larger scale stuff, but
Yeah.
I know people that they'll do all their design work in Fusion and then export out basically like a CNC cut file. You can just export it right into that. So I'm sure that would be good for that. As far as laser software goes, I mean, I do most of my design stuff in Adobe before I even get into any programming.
Like
Yep.
Illustrator.
Illustrator.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
And
my
I
go-to.
use Illustrator on iPad, and it's incredible.
Oh,
Like
I
it's
haven't done that.
so
Really?
yeah, it's really user friendly. And like if I need to go in and outline a logo to like create it into an SVG, it's super quick and easy. And I pretty much recreate everything in Illustrator and then export it over to Lightburn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using. I use Vectric for. I mean, I'm not building furniture or anything like that. So,
Right.
But I used so kind of my software path has been. I started with Carbide Create because I started with a Shapeoko. I used that for 2 years, solely that for 2 years, and then I went to Fusion, and I used that for a little while, and then when I got my Avid CNC, I just went to Vectric. And full disclosure, I am partnered with Vectric, but it seems that's where everybody ends up. Like if you're just dedicated to CNC like router work,
Right.
like that is where a lot of people end up. So
And you can do parametric modeling and stuff like that in Vectric, right? Or no?
So in Vectric Aspire, which is their top end product, you can do 3D modeling in there, but you really like parametric modeling as far as like Fusion.
Like if you wanted to change the dimensions of all of your grooves from 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, basically just typing it in. I'm not sure. I know Fusion can do it. I don't do a ton of it because I'm like a newbie. I would say.
And that's the power of Fusion, right? Is the parametric part, like updating one. You update one time and it changes like all of it, right?
Right.
And Vectric's not like that.
I would have thought that Bob would have got you all like into the whole parametric modeling stuff.
Oh, he did. That's why I spent a little time there. I took his course.
Yeah.
So he's talking about Bob from I Like to Make Stuff has a great course if you're looking to get into Fusion. And yeah, that's how. Otherwise, I probably would have never messed with it. But
right. You got the friend add-on maybe for the.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he lives in your town, right, Andy?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, him and I are good friends. We actually have we're eating lunch at Five Guys on Wednesday. So
nice.
Yep.
Tell him to come on the podcast.
Oh man! All right, I'll ask him.
It'll be a tall order.
But yeah, that's a cool story. Honestly, I started YouTube because of Bob. So
nice.
And
go back and listen to Andy's episode.
Yeah.
I think you talked a little bit in that.
I think I
episode.
did. Yeah, I think I did. I met him coaching his sons and daughters' upward basketball team.
That's funny.
So yeah.
Small world.
I actually met his wife first.
And the fact that he still likes you.
I know, right? That's what
it's because you weren't a ref of the upward team. That's why.
100%.
Yeah.
This was 6 years ago.
If you were the ref, he would have hated your guts.
No,
because those upward refs, they're like the unsung heroes.
Yeah, right. Whew. I get those emails like, "Do you want to volunteer? Do you want to give back and referee?"
Yes.
No.
Nope.
No, I don't.
I've seen how I treat those upward coaches.
So where I'm moving to in Greenville, I guess that's where Upward started, and they have a facility that is ginormous. It's massive, and I think what happened is they were looking to go to that model instead of like being at churches and doing sports there. They were going to have these big facilities, and I think it didn't go as well as planned. So that's the only one that's there, but the thing is massive.
Wow.
Huh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got any other questions on the stream? If you're watching, if you're still with us, got any last minute questions talking about pricing? Victor, did we answer your question? If not, send me or put it in the chat real quick, and maybe we can take it over to the after show portion. But Trey, do you have any more questions? I've only got you down for 4.
Well, Johnny and Alexis have a couple.
Oh, that's right. I gotta change that. That's good. I got Trey down for 1. I've got Alexis down for 1. I've got Johnny with 2 N's.
Alcohol of choice when things go south.
The closest one nearby.
This one.
Yeah. That's good. There's a cheers thing. Well, no, I don't want to go there. It's fine. All right, Victor, we got yours. Christy, we'll talk about subscription-based pricing. Johnny, do you ever feel guilty about what you charge? Johnny says, do you feel guilty about what you charge, thinking I would never pay for that? This guy Trey always charges more for his projects. No, and then I've got, have you ever lowered your price to sell a project? Do you adjust your price for friends and family price off material, machine time, what you feel it's worth, and sleeper hound design. I need help quoting my work. Started taking on some small carpentry jobs. So that's what I've got. That's what we'll cover. Going once. Oh, let's see. Do you find that you want to charge more depending on the person's attitude? Yes. You may have heard me talk about.
I feel like we referenced that last time.
Yes, you may have heard me talk once or like 17 times about the PETA charge. That's the pain in the butt charge, the pit butt charge. And since we're live streaming, you can't say the actual, right? And yes, I definitely, if somebody's kind of difficult and they start sending me schematics and they've pencil drawn something together, I take that as a cue that they're going to be very particular. They're probably an engineer. No offense to engineers. Love engineers. Love all my engineers. Sign up at patreon.com/Mitchell. But yeah, you could feel that the customer's going to be a little bit more difficult. And I haven't put the specific line item. Oh, that's another one. Do you itemize your invoices?
That is also a hot topic.
I'm gonna put that one in. That's gonna be what's my alias? Do you itemize invoices? But yeah, I can. If I can tell somebody's gonna be a little bit difficult, I haven't necessarily itemized it, but I do charge a little bit more. It's because it's gonna be your time. Right, and that's really the line item that it goes into is time, is your labor cost. All right, we're gonna end the stream. So thank you guys for tuning in to the podcast stream. We're gonna head over to the main episode. Check out patreon.com/Maker Lounge Podcast. Sign up for early access and access to the after show. And any other parting words for the pre-show portion?
10 minutes shorter than last time.
Me love you long time, right? Isn't that what they say on one of the other podcasts? All righty. And end.